Hey, what's up? What's going on? This is your girl, Tia, and I'm back with another video with the Wayne skits. So, this is my third video. I haven't done it in a while, but it was heavy on my heart, heavy on my mind, and I just wanted to give my opinion about a specific skit that has been circulating in the Country Wayne world. Skit franchise. So let's get into it. I'm gonna mainly talk about the Amber and Anthony skit. So, in my opinion, about her dating Dave while still married. So it's been an ongoing debate in the comment section on Wayne's social media, particularly Facebook, because that's where I see most of his skits. I don't go on YouTube to watch his skits like that unless I want to. But I mainly just use Facebook for Country Wayne skits. So I am always debating with other commenters regarding to her situation with Dave. A lot of the women are thinking with their emotions. I'm a woman and I am an emotional thinker as well. All women are emotional. That's just it. There's no woman that is not emotional. They say they're not emotional, they're lying. We are all emotional beings. It's in our DNA. However, I've been through a similar situation that Amber was in with her husband. And so because I've been through something similar and I've spoken with my person about it, and it gave me a different perspective on the man's perspective and the woman's perspective. And it tends to allow me to think more logical when I'm the outside person looking into somebody else's situation that been through similar, if you understand what I mean. My situation, I'm still emotional about it. It's still hard for me to grasp what has happened and things like that because I'm a woman. I'm emotional. But when I see a person that dealt with the same thing or similar, I can see it in a logical aspect because it's not my situation per se. And I'm not experiencing exactly what they're experiencing. So a lot of the women in the comment section are very much thinking with their emotions versus their logic. And a lot of men aren't, which is pretty normal, that men are more logical thinkers than women. So basically, I'm going to give a quick rundown on Amber and Anthony. So Amber and Anthony have been married for about 2 years or so. 2 years going on 3, or maybe 3 years. I don't remember. I don't keep track on the timeline. But they are married. Before they got married, she was dealing with Wayne while she was in a relationship with Anthony. She cheated on Wayne. She was with Wayne way before she was with Anthony. She stopped dealing with Wayne because Wayne was having trouble to commit to her. And so she wasn't dealing with it. She wasn't going to keep being with somebody that's not going to take it to the next level, which is marriage. That's what she wanted. He didn't want that. And I don't blame her if that's what she really wants. Especially when he's not really choosing her, because he's always been, flirtatious with other women when he shouldn't be. It's one thing to, be kind to women, but it's another when you're literally flirting with them and you're in a relationship. No, he has a track record of that. So, they broke up. She met Anthony. I don't remember how they met because I didn't watch Anthony and Amber skits in the beginning. I wasn't watching them like that. But from what I can recall, someone introduced them. They felt they were business partners because she was trying to open up a club or whatever, a bar or something like that. I don't know. She was helping him or he was helping her. All I know is they fell for each other. They started dating. I think he was dating Ro before he got with Anthony. And so, before he got with Amber. But I don't think he was truly over Ro as well. So both of them were kind of dealing with each other, but still not over their exes, kind of thing. That's kind of similar to what I had. I was dealing, but I'm not going into that. Anyway, they eventually fell for each other, and they became a boyfriend and girlfriend. However, she was, still holding on to feelings for Wayne. And she was eventually still having sex with Wayne while she was dealing with Anthony. I don't think right then and there. I think as time went on. And she was doing that for a very long time. And then but she was still falling and in love with Anthony, but she was still holding on to what she had with Wayne. Eventually, and I think Anthony still had some hovering feelings for Ro. He was still in love with Ro, but he also was falling for Amber. But I guess Ro wasn't trying to go there with him. She was already in a relationship with someone. She was marrying engaged to someone. So that was that. He ended up proposing to Amber. She accepted. However, she was still having sex and doing things with Wayne on the side, while he was still holding on feelings for Ro. But he wasn't doing anything with Ro. They got married. She was still having sex with Wayne up until their wedding day. So once they became married, she stopped dealing with Wayne on that level. But she never told Anthony what she was doing. Then, I guess, I want to say a few months to a year into their marriage, Ro got married. Amber and Anthony went to the wedding, and Anthony stood up at the wedding and basically said he's still in love with Ro. I didn't see that skit. I just saw snippets of it. I don't know why he did that. Of course he still had feelings for Ro, but I don't know why he would do that if he was still pursuing or married to Amber. I don't know what the frick was that. But that was embarrassing too, of course, to Amber and Ro and to himself. They got into it about that and blah, 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 blah. So, fast forward, Amber has this best friend named Shayla. Shayla was dealing with Wayne's brother at the time, but she had her eyes on Anthony. She only had her eyes on Anthony because A, Anthony's rich. B, Anthony was living a great life with her best friend Amber. She basically wanted Amber's life. So she was doing little sneaky things to claw under Anthony, but he wasn't really seeking out her. He noticed her, but he wasn't feeling her, or he wasn't trying to get at her. He was just oblivious to it, whatever. Until one night when they were all at an event, and Anthony got drunk. And Dalen, which is Anthony's best friend, I think was going to take him home or something. I don't know. But Amber, I think Dalen took him home or took him somewhere. Either home or took him somewhere. Shayla was there. She schemed and followed Anthony to wherever he took him, and she took that opportunity to sleep with him because she'd been wanting Anthony for a minute. He woke up the next day in bed with her and was like, "What are you doing? Like, what is this?" and she was like, I know you want me, typical delusional ass women. And I know you want me and this and this and this. And like, how could you do this? That's your best friend, whatever. And she was like, she didn't care. She just wanted him. He was like, that would never happen. I don't want to be with you. And da-da-da-da-da. She wasn't trying to hear that. So she kept pursuing. All right. He kept denying her. But he notices that when he would try to have sex with Amber, she wasn't trying to have sex with him. Not because she wasn't feeling Anthony. It was just because she wasn't in the mood. Women get like that sometimes. She let her career in front of her marriage. She wasn't doing her wifely duties. And it was happening for a while. And so he notices that Shayla was giving it up, willing to give it up. So he used Shayla for sexual advancements because he wasn't getting it from her. So he's like, fuck it. Being a man, he was wrong on that part. He was very much wrong on that end. The first initial time, it was Shayla's fault. She was scheming after him. But then once he wasn't getting what he wanted from his wife, he used Shayla for those advances. But every time he did it, he liked it, he enjoyed it, but he knew it was wrong. So she knew what to do to keep him around. She told him about Amber and Wayne. And so she knew that if she told him about Anthony and Wayne, about Amber and Wayne cheating up until their wedding day, that will probably keep her around in some form of fashion. Break up with her and be with her or whatever. Of course, he was upset or whatever, and he wasn't, I don't know if he believed it or not, but he went to the house and Wayne was there. Everybody was there. It was Wayne, Ro, and Amber, and Anthony. And he came out and asked. They didn't deny it. And her expression was everything that he needed to know. Ro was like, because I think they were having a business meeting or something. Because Ro, Anthony, and Wayne are business partners. So they were there for a business meeting. But Amber, of course, lives with Anthony. So that's a good time, perfect time to bring it up. And Ro was like shocked. She already didn't like Amber for whatever reason. I think she just didn't like Amber because Amber was dealing with both her exes. Because Ro was also in a relationship with Wayne back in the day, in the beginning. And she also was dealing with Anthony. Not at the same time, but in different time periods. And I think that got to her that she used to deal with Wayne. And then she ended up dealing with Anthony and got married to Anthony. And she didn't marry Anthony. So I think she was always felt a way about Amber. But once she was there and witnessed that, she definitely didn't like Amber because she was really cool with Anthony and she considered Anthony a friend. And for her to do that was foul. So after that, I think Anthony stayed with Ro for a while because I think at that time, after Anthony said what he said in front of the whole wedding, at Ro's wedding, I think Ro and Malachi got the marriage annulled. So he was staying with Ro after all of this, and Amber was like apologizing, trying to get her husband back, even visiting Ro house to pick him up and all of that, and it was a lot. All right, fast forward, Shayla ended up pregnant. And she had, and remember at the time she was dating Wayne's brother. So she had Wayne's brother think that it was his baby. And it wasn't his baby. And also she had Mike thinking it was his baby. Because she was dating Mike, dealing with Mike, Arby, which is Wayne's brother, and Anthony. But around the same time period, but I don't know. I think once she figured out it wasn't by, I think Arby figured it out it wasn't by him. She never told him who it was by. So she narrowed it down to Mike and Anthony. She even had a baby shower, but she posed it as Mike's baby because she was still best friends with Amber, and she couldn't just outright say it was Anthony's baby, even though Anthony knew that it was his baby. And Dalen knew because Anthony told him that he slept with Shayla. And Dalen was basically saying, that's wrong that y'all having this man thinking that it's his baby and it's not. You need to come clean. Fast forward. Okay, fast forward to actually let me rewind it a little back before she got pregnant. No, actually, no. Fast forward, yeah. So then, fast forward to that. She had the baby. Amber was labeled as the godmother. She still did not know that Anthony and Shayla were sleeping with each other and that's his actual baby. Everybody still think it's Mike's baby. So she had the baby. I don't know. I think she ended up telling Mike it's not his, but I don't think she told him who it's by. But I think she told him it's not his. So then fast forward, Amber ends up catching Anthony and Shayla in bed because their realtor or whoever she was told Amber that she saw them together. She caught them in bed. She beat the shit out of Shayla. And so Anthony was afraid to go back in the house because she was delirious. Like, Amber was delirious. So he's been hiding out at different people's house. Dalen's, Shayla's, everything like that. So, now Amber is going through this emotional roller coaster. She's like going off. She's in and out of reality and all of that, blah, 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 blah. And all this time, Anthony knows that that's his son. So she saw them together at a doctor's appointment with her best friend, Brittany. And she like, what is going on here? Why are you holding this child? Why are you with her with this child? Is this child yours? And I don't know if at the time if he admitted that it was hers. I think he was just saying he's just helping her out. But eventually he told her. He told her that it's his child. She went off because at the time they adopted a son, David, who was a baby, but he wasn't emotionally connected to David. I guess because he wasn't biologically his. And because of their turmoil marriage due to the infidelity, the social worker took the baby away because it was an unhealthy environment for her. So yeah, it was a lot. And she resented Anthony for that, and she blamed Anthony for all of that, and he was wrong for all of those things, definitely. So now fast forward to the future. They end up reconciling after almost a year of separating due to the fact that he moved on with Shayla. He didn't really want to be with Shayla, but he felt content with her because it was a safer choice, because he was scared of Amber, because Amber was very much upset and distraught about the whole situation. And so he was afraid to go home. He was afraid to face her and all that. So he felt like it was just easier to be with her. And then also the sex was good with her. So, and then it made sense because they have a child, even though that's not where he wanted to be. But then he forced himself to want to be that and all that. But he ended up choosing his wife back. They end up filing for divorce. I think she filed first and then he filed, and then they never signed either papers, and then they went to counseling. She offered him to go to counseling so they can be cordial for the divorce, but they end up reconciling and they end up renewing their vows. She ended up claiming that she forgives him for what he's done, and they try to move forward. They were going to therapy for a while and then they stopped. Now fast forward to the future, their marriage has been up and down, up and down. She felt like he wasn't supportive of her ventures and that he told her to close the bar. And I think it's more of an ego thing with him because he felt like she was the alpha in a relationship and he wasn't. And so he felt intimidated and I think a low-key jealous of her success. She wasn't still really cooking for him like that. She wasn't really having sex with him like that. She wasn't doing any of those things. She was an achiever. And it felt like he was competing with her. Not saying that she was wrong for that, but I feel like because of what they're going through now, it's because they stopped going to therapy. Because of the amount of trauma they've been through in their relationship, I think they definitely should have stuck with marriage counseling. And then eventually their individual counseling. Because it's a lot of trauma there. And now she files for divorce because she was tired of him not supporting her and all of that. And then she's still not over the fact that he had a baby by her best friend. Okay, Shayla moved on with an NBA player, all that. She's kind of delusional because he don't want her, but whatever. It's like she begs and makes somebody be with her to feel valid. I don't know. I'm not even going to speak on that. But anyway, Amber ends up, throughout her marriage, she ends up falling for several guys, even whether they started as friends, but she's been vulnerable with these guys in this marriage while she was separated. Now she has a boyfriend while she's still legally married to her husband. He has a girlfriend as well, but I think he's only with her because Amber has moved on and he can't cope with that. I think Amber still loves Anthony. I think Amber still hates Anthony. I think Amber still wants to be with Anthony, but she just wants Anthony to be like Dave. Because if she really wants to be away from Anthony, if she doesn't love him anymore, if she doesn't want to be in a marriage anymore, she would have divorced him with nothing. She filed for divorce, but she wants 50% of his earnings. I feel like I understand why she wants it, but it's really not feasible because one, they haven't been married that long. Two, she's not broke. She's a businesswoman herself. She has a restaurant. She's working on a podcast with Kountry Wayne. Then she's doing her own boutique. So she's going to be making money. Plus her boyfriend is rich. So what she need the 50% for? If she really want to be done with Anthony, just be done with Anthony without nothing, without his money. I feel like she's holding on to this marriage because one, she's spending his assets and also while married, because that's the only way she can do that. And then also she has her rich boyfriend. So I think she's trying to keep her life afloat with both of them. Two, I do think she still wants to be with Anthony and hope that something can turn around, but they're doing it the wrong way. They're both prideful and childish that they won't talk it out and express how they really feel about each other and go back to therapy and listen to God and listen to themselves instead of everybody else, because they both involve too many people in their relationship and they get in too many outside opinions about their marriage, and especially the wrong people. She keeps inserting Ernestine, her best friend / cousin, in her marriage when Ernestine has relationship issues herself. She cheated on her husband. She kind of still got feelings for her ex-husband. Then on top of that, she dated her parolee when she was a parole officer. She put her life in jeopardy for that man. Then she cheated on him with his business partner or his friend, and who don't even have a pot to piss in or window to throw it out of. She's still kind of chasing behind him. Then she was kind of talking to Chase's friend, who is Wayne's best friend. And it's like she got too much going on with different men. And so that's the last person she need to have advice from. Same with Anthony. Anthony inserted Dalen in his marriage. Dalen was right with his opinions and things, but he ain't got it all wrapped too tight with his relationships. He bounced from Brittany to Keisha to Noel to the brother's best friend. He just all over the place relationship wise as well. And so it's just like, nah. The skits are really all over the place now. It really is. And then I don't know, but right now that's where they at. He got a boyfriend. She got a boyfriend dating Dave. She basically living from out of a suitcase because she's not staying home with Anthony. She comes to the house to grab clothes to go over Dave's house, and then Anthony is dating Denisha, and she has a son named Kai, and he built a room for her son, but he didn't even build a room for his own son that he has with Shayla. So Shayla's upset at that. Amber's a little upset at that, but I think Amber's more upset at the whole thing that he's moved on and this and this and this. She talks about Anthony more than she talks about anybody else to everybody, but she says she don't want to be with him. I don't believe that. So that's where it's at. And it's like people in the comment section are basically saying, oh, she cheated on Anthony before the marriage, so it doesn't count. Oh, everybody is so celebratory over her and Dave's relationship when it's wrong. She's wrong for dating Dave. She's still married. She's been preaching this whole time about Anthony being disloyal in the marriage, but yet she's been disloyal in the marriage because she's still married. Secondly, they both doing each other wrong and they both are childish. But the women in the comment section don't want to hold Amber accountable for her actions. They only trying to hold Anthony as the villain when both of them are wrong. I'm a woman and I'm emotional, but I even say that she's wrong. Ever since she got with Dave, oh, she wrong. I used to be Team Amber because I understood her hurt. But now that she's sitting up there fucking with another guy while married, she's just as bad as Anthony. And so that's where it's at in the skits. And I'm just like, I just want them to hold not only Anthony accountable, but Amber accountable. And Amber needs to be honest with herself. Either if she doesn't want to be with Anthony, she needs to divorce him with no money attached to it and just hold her own. If she does want to be with Anthony, then she need to let Dave go and let all the people out of her relationship go and just focus on her and focus on Anthony and focus on their marriage. That's it. So that's all my shenanigans I have for now, but I'm going to get back to another video and I'm going to talk about Bethany because Bethany gets on my everlasting nerves. So I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.